Hello everyone, welcome to a personalized episode of Enlighten Me. Today, we'll be discussing some hot topics, including the expected hottest year in 120,000 years, the advancements in hydrogen fuel cell trucks and solid-state batteries, and the disconnect between founders and investors in startup pitches. Get ready for an insightful and engaging conversation ahead. 2023 is set to be the hottest year in 120,000 years, with temperatures 0, 53 OC above the 1991 to 2020 average. Climate disasters intensified, including a devastating flood in Libya, record wildfires in North America and Europe, and unprecedented climatic stress across South America. Antarctic changes, such as reduced sea ice and unusual heat waves, raise concerns about accelerating climate shifts. Scientists warn that this year marks a critical transition in climate change, from warnings to harsh reality. The gap between scientific findings and political action is widening. James Hansen, a noted climate scientist, stresses the urgency for a generational change in leadership and decisive climate action. The political landscape, particularly in the US, shows hesitancy in adopting necessary measures, potentially exacerbating environmental challenges. Immediate, radical actions are essential to reduce fossil fuel use and mitigate escalating climate impacts. The International Council on Clean Transportation, Science-Based Targets Initiative, and the International Maritime Organization are criticized for skewed analyses in transportation sectors like trucking, shipping, and aviation. ICCT reports favor hydrogen over battery electric solutions, underestimating costs and overestimating viability, particularly in trucking. Their shipping analysis leans towards impractical liquid hydrogen solutions, and aviation studies overlook critical factors like battery improvements. These organizations' optimistic projections are based more on industry growth expectations than realistic scenarios, especially in sectors like oil, gas, and coal shipping, which contradict climate targets. This reflects a broader misunderstanding of electrochemistry and battery technology advancements. The critique emphasizes the need for skepticism, validation, and willingness to adjust flawed projections, advocating for more realistic and balanced analysis in transportation sector studies. Exploring the sustainability of EV battery remanufacturing. As EV batteries degrade, owners face the costly dilemma of replacement. Carlos Berjano Noya's experience of battery degradation highlights this issue. Remanufacturing batteries emerges as a cost-effective and sustainable alternative, reducing the need for new materials and cutting production emissions significantly. The demand for lithium, used in lithium-ion batteries, is controlled by a few companies, creating concerns about sustainable supply chains. Recycling and remanufacturing batteries can alleviate some of this demand. Companies like TerraPower are leading the way in remanufacturing, which involves identifying and replacing weak battery components. This approach is not only economical, but also reduces the carbon footprint associated with new battery production. Repurposing degraded batteries for energy storage is another sustainable solution, contributing to energy flexibility strategies. As the EV market grows, so does the need for better battery technology and reuse. 2023 is set to be a pivotal year for climate action as concerns about accelerating climate shifts intensify. While in the transportation sector, a shift towards more realistic and balanced analyses is needed. And speaking of transportation, Daimler Truck plans to road test its Mercedes-Benz hydrogen fuel cell trucks in Germany in mid-2024. Partnering with companies like Amazon and Air Products to support the expansion of green hydrogen infrastructure and achieve carbon-neutral goals. Meanwhile, QuantumScape's solid-state battery cells are impressing the industry with their ability to power EVs for 500,000 kilometers with minimal range loss, surpassing industry standards. And in the realm of semiconductor technology, Japanese automakers are forming the Automotive SoC Research Association, ASRA, to compete against US giants like NVIDIA and Qualcomm, reflecting a strategic shift towards self-reliance and innovation in the automotive chip sector, so stay tuned for these exciting developments. Daimler Truck is set to road test its Mercedes-Benz hydrogen fuel cell trucks in mid-2024 across Germany, collaborating with companies like Amazon and Air Products. This initiative aligns with Daimler's goal to offer carbon-neutral vehicles in major markets by 2039. The GNH2 trucks will refuel at 2 public liquid hydrogen stations, highlighting the need for expanded green hydrogen infrastructure. These tests support the sustainability goals of partners like Amazon, which targets carbon neutrality by 2040. The hydrogen trucks, ideal for long-haul routes, boast over 1,000 kilometers range on a full tank. The US is similarly focusing on zero-emission heavy-duty vehicles with policies and programs to support hydrogen technology. Daimler's new subcooled liquid hydrogen technology, SLH2, enhances energy density and refueling efficiency. The trials, involving various product transports, will test the technology in real conditions, contributing to the broader adoption of green hydrogen in transportation. QuantumScape, a leader in advanced battery technology, has received commendation from PowerCo, Volkswagen Group's battery subsidiary, for its solid-state battery cells. PowerCo's endurance tests showed QuantumScape's cells could power EVs for 500,000 kilometers with minimal range loss. QuantumScape, backed by Volkswagen Group since its early days, has been developing scalable, energy-dense, solid-state battery cells for over a decade, aiming to make EVs safer, faster charging, and longer ranging. In December 2022, QuantumScape delivered its first 24-layer solid-state cells to automotive partners like Volkswagen for testing. Recent tests exceeded performance targets, with PowerCo's endurance testing confirming the cell's ability to retain over 95% capacity after 1,000 charge cycles. This performance surpasses the industry standard of 700 cycles and 20% maximum capacity loss. PowerCo CEO Frank Blom expressed optimism about the cell's potential, which aligned with Volkswagen's goal of long-range, quickly charging, and durable EVs. The next challenge is scaling up production, but QuantumScape's success in testing is a significant step towards industrializing solid-state battery technology for the market. Highlighting Japanese automakers including Toyota, Nissan, Honda, Mazda, and Subaru, who are joining forces to establish the Automotive SoC Research Association, ASRA, to compete in the advanced automotive chip sector. This initiative is a response to rivals like Tesla, who have been developing their own chips for automotive applications, including autonomous driving. ASRA, founded in Nagoya in December, aims to start researching system-on-chip SoC products with 10 nm or more advanced nodes from 2024. The collaboration also includes Japanese enterprises like Renesas Electronics and Socionext. This move signifies a growing trend among automakers to intensify in-house chip development, countering the dominance of US semiconductor giants like Nvidia and Qualcomm, who are also creating high-performance SoCs for vehicles. Tesla's move to self-develop SoCs, driven by dissatisfaction with market options, has resulted in their active deployment in Tesla vehicles. Similarly, Chinese automaker NIO has established semiconductor R&D teams in China and the US, successfully developing chips for LiDAR technology control. ASRA's formation reflects a strategic shift in the automotive industry towards greater self-reliance and innovation in semiconductor technology. Transition. Now let's switch gears and explore another fascinating aspect of the automotive industry, where the focus shifts towards the dynamics between founders and investors in startup pitches. What makes a startup pitch miss its mark? Today we're exploring this intriguing question, rooted in a decade of coaching experience and a vast repository of pitch conversation transcripts. The journey to understanding the disconnect between founders and investors in pitch meetings unravels some fascinating insights into the world of startups and venture capital. Let's begin with the investor's perspective. Fundamentally, a pitch is about initiating a conversation, a critical first step in a venture capitalist's deal screening process. Imagine a funnel, at the top of which are 1,000 to 3,000 companies. Only 10 to 20% of these survive the initial screening. This process is influenced by various factors, including the fund's selection criteria, brand, team size, and the stage of the VC fund's life cycle. Each partner in a fund strives to attract the top 1% of founders, aiming to build a portfolio of 20, 40 investments. The reason for this selectivity? A power law distribution in returns, where a handful of companies raise the majority of funding and 1 or 2 unicorns return the lion's share of the fund's capital. These investors experience long periods of boredom, interspersed with brief episodes of curiosity and occasional terror at missing out on a groundbreaking deal. Now let's shift to the founder's viewpoint. Over the years, I've noticed founders often overemphasize their pitch decks. Early-stage fundraising is less about the slides and more about the founder's identity, their network, and their ability to lead a company from inception to a successful exit. The probability of a company being a fund returner heavily hinges on the founder's capabilities. The pitch deck serves mainly as a tool to clarify and sharpen the founder's thinking, guiding them through the idea maze of understanding their market and competition. However, there's a stark contrast in perception. Founders, often first-timers, are all in, risking their financial and reputational stakes. They are deeply invested in the success of their venture, navigating the stressful, uncertain path of entrepreneurship. This commitment, while admirable, can sometimes cloud their understanding of the venture capital process and decision-making under uncertainty. So, what's the solution? Developing more accurate mental models of how venture capital works and how decisions are made in the face of uncertainty is crucial. A practical approach is to write an investment memo from the perspective of the VC being pitched to. This exercise helps founders integrate the essential components of their pitch with the deal champion's observations, blending the opportunity and risks involved. Such memos, like those by Bessemer Venture Partners, are excellent decision-making tools, provided they are used with discipline and intellectual honesty. The disconnect in startup pitches often stems from a misalignment in the perspectives of investors and founders. Investors seek the exceptional few, sifting through numerous pitches with a focus on potential unicorns that align with their investment thesis. Founders, on the other hand, often get caught up in the details of their pitch decks, overlooking the broader narrative and failing to accurately address the investor's concerns and criteria. Bridging this gap requires founders to step into the shoes of investors, understanding their decision-making process and aligning their pitches accordingly. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Innovation Pulse. If you enjoyed our insights and are eager to learn more, the Enlighten Me app is just a tap away. Expand your knowledge with personalized content on over 20 diverse topics, from crypto to health and beyond, all curated to fit your interests. Download the Enlighten Me app now at the Apple Store or Google Play, or visit the enlightenme.ai website. Stay curious, stay enlightened.